Hi, so this is Vincent and James, and we're here with Empathy Pen Project, structured conversation with virtual pen pals to teach empathy for opposing viewpoints. So we chose the development track. The presentation will go in 5 sections: motivation, existing work. Then we'll get into our project and then demonstration, along with survey results and conclusion. So the motivation of this project was really that we noticed that our society was becoming ever more diametrically opposed, and people were less empathetic. And really, just especially with social media and people receiving news and conversations from people that they're more familiar with, and social media being this natural echo chamber, we found that people really are exposed to less viewpoints and thus are becoming less empathetic. And we know that inequality, income inequality, especially and within our society, is growing to unprecedented levels. And I think in today's political climate, where everything is like us versus them, left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, people really are affected by these echo chambers and turn a blind eye towards other viewpoints. And we believe that Empathy Pen, which is our tool, is unique in its product in the market to connect individuals with others who have diametrically opposing viewpoints. And by fostering these conversations, we hope to build empathy and promote a more inclusive society. So first we'll go through some existing work, and really we highlight a couple of works here, but just note that, which you can read off the slide, but just note that there are a lot of different papers that study the efficacy of pen pal programs. The couple of papers that we note here were particularly interesting ones, especially Lai 2018, who examined the efficacy of pen pal schools, which is an application that matched classes of schools from students from different geographic regions following the 2016 US presidential elections, and is really similar to what we're trying to do. And a lot of the papers that we found really found that that children improved in technical aspects of writing, as well as voice, and just lots of great educational measures. But the thing that we wanted to highlight was that most of these tools have a gap, that they don't serve a large portion of the population, because a lot of the pen pal applications really only serve the student population, and we really found no tools that exist for the general population. And so that's where our product is more uniquely positioned. We aim to have it open to the public, and really just anyone to connect with any of their peers, to have great conversations and learn from each other. So the total development time of our project was 14 weeks. And a quick run through of our technical stack: we use Postgres database, Django web framework, HTML, CSS for front end, and we deployed our application to Heroku. There's 3 steps in our application. First, you sign up, indicate your current viewpoints on controversial issues, and you decide on which issues you wish to learn about the other side. Step 2, you get matches. You'll be matched with those who think differently than you. So we have a matching process, and it's mostly around people. So if you indicate that you're very liberal, the idea would be to get matched with someone who's conservative. And then once you get matched, it's really all on the user. You have a guided conversation. You'll see more details about the conversation when we go through the app demonstration. But the idea would be that the application facilitates a stimulating discussion between you and your pen pal. This is our data model. Won't get too much into detail here, but just note that all the data that's logged with the application gets entered into our data model, which is Postgres database. And now James is going to talk through the live demonstration. And anyone, again, this is deployed on Heroku, so anyone can access this. And James will go through the live demonstration.
So hello, everyone. I'm going to be demoing Empathy Pen, which is the app that we built for the EdTech class. Empathy Pen is an app that helps connect people with different viewpoints. So right here we have our home screen. We have a brief overview of the app, as well as some record counts of the number of users, the number of topics we currently support, as well as the users broken down by political affiliation. The first thing I'm going to demo is a sign-up process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up as a fake user. So I'm going to type in some fake details here, and I'm going to type in a fake password, and I'm going to go ahead and sign up as Bob. After I sign up, the first thing I'm going to see is the Your Profile page. The Your Profile page allows you to describe your current views. We have 5 topics right here: abortion, affirmative action, education, healthcare, and immigration. I'm going to describe how I feel about these issues. After I do that, I can describe whether or not I want to learn more about the other side of each of these issues. So for example, for abortion, I indicated that I'm very liberal on abortion. I want to learn more about the other side. If I have this checkbox clicked, this means that I can match potentially with someone who's very conservative on abortion or slightly conservative on abortion, and engage in a guided conversation about abortion with that person. After I do this, after I fill out my profile, I'm going to press submit. And when I press submit, what usually happens is I'm going to get matches. So we can see in the notifications that I matched with this person, test user 2. Click on all conversations, test user 2. I matched with test user 2 on these 3 topics, meaning that we differ in view on these 3 topics. The conversation phase, of course, we haven't started any conversation with test user 2. I'm going to open up the conversation page, and it brings up this screen right here. And I'm going to start a conversation with test user 2. So hi, test user 2. So Bob says, hi, test user 2, and we can engage in a conversation. The way that conversations work is that they are mostly guided. The first phase of each conversation is the icebreaker phase. And in this phase, we recommend that the users ignore the issues and just try to get to know each other. And we provide a list of 5 icebreaker questions that the users can ask each other in order to get to know each other as human beings before debating the topics. So after this phase, after we talk about where we grew up, what the worst job we ever had was, we can request to end the icebreaker phase. Okay, and what happens when you request to end the icebreaker phase is it shows this message. If test user 2 also requests to skip the phase, then we move on to the topics phase, in which we're going to debate some of the topics in which we differ. The view where I can see both Bob's screen and test user 2's screen. We can see that Bob requested to end the icebreaker phase, so I'm going to click to also end the request. And now that we've ended the request, we are now both in the abortion phase. We can see that on both views. So in the discussion phase on the topics, the discussion phase is guided for the first portion. So the way that the guided portion goes is that first it gives guided questions about the topic. So this is a guided question about abortion. If I'm on Bob's screen, I can type in my view, fake response, blah, 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 and I'm going to submit it. So when I submit it, now I'm done with the question. Say that I'm Bob, and I say that I want to type in more stuff. What it does is it gives an error message saying I can't post a response until the other user also responds to the guided question. This is intentional. We want both users to have equal say when answering the guided questions. After the guided questions are finished, there's going to be an unguided portion where they can just freely debate the issue without the restriction of doing one response before the other person responds. When both parties want to end the discussion on the specific topic and want to go on to the next topic, in this case affirmative action, what we can do is both parties can request to end the phase, and once that happens, it jumps to the discussion on affirmative action. And now we have the guided questions for affirmative action, same structure where each person has one chance to respond to the guided questions before going to the unstructured discussion portion of the conversation. Say, for example, that there is a comment that you believe is inappropriate. So this comment seems inappropriate. Bob's comment seems inappropriate. I can report this comment. I can say that this comment is inappropriate, blah, 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 and submit it. It sends a message to the moderator. A report has been filed, and the moderators review the comment and potentially get rid of it if it is actually inappropriate. So this is the app. There's more features on the app that we encourage you to explore on the website. Excited to hear more feedback on it as you use it.
Okay, thanks, James. So we just wanted to conclude by saying that we had a lot of great feedback, and really the next part of our project would be around ethical considerations of making this application more secure. Especially since our application is open to all ages, we really want to make sure, especially children, are protected when using the application. And we thought that natural language processing would be a great next step for scalable detection of harmful language, and we can use it to efficiently monitor and proactively guard against offensive and harmful language. We also just wanted to show some results of surveys after doing user testing. And again, we really were surprised, not necessarily surprised, but really happy about the really positive feedback. So you can see in all these surveys that ask essentially engagement about the application, most people responded positively to these survey questions. This one I thought was very great. If implemented well, do you think this would help you understand different views, which is really the purpose of the application? And a lot of people said yes, actually, or at least somewhat likely. So yeah, you can go through these surveys for the sake of time. I don't want to repeat anything that's already on the slides, but in conclusion, we're very happy with the positive feedback that we received from the survey, and we really do look forward to future improvements, perhaps even submit to an academic paper, and implement NLP to improve user safety and user experience. Thank you so much.